So we come back from chapter 236, where Sukuna has been able to turn his curse technique into a divine one by essentially using the world as a canvas to paint his slashes over Gojo. And as he's done with Gojo, Kashimo flies in. Before we get into leaks, I have to thank Miyamura real quick, provides them weekly, thank you so much, and with that, let's get into it. The chapter starts off by Kashimo entering the battlefield, but one more player also joins the battlefield, standing aloof on a massive lump of ice. This person being none other than the Ice Star, Uraume. But there's also someone else joining this battle, and a lot of us are going to be very happy to see that. It's Hakari Kinji, and he challenges her directly to a battle. He says that he made a promise, so he can't allow her to live. Hakari opens his domain, and Uraume activates her ice formation against him. So interestingly enough, it seems as if the students will be rolling out to fight Sukuna here. Hopefully we see Yuji, Yuta, and Maki soon as well. Please, Yuji. Although Hakari's domain was able to capture Uraume inside of it, the boulder of ice continued to fall. It suddenly evaporates, and Kashimo notices that all of this was just to deliver something to Sukuna. And this is... Sukuna launches an electric attack with Kashimo, using his cursed weapon, and says, just like the good old times. And if you look close enough here, it shows like a little... I don't even know what it is. It seems to be a blade with decoration over it or something like that. I don't really know. But it emits electricity, and this is one of his cursed weapons from the Heian era, I guess. It looks kind of cool though. Back to the scans. It says that, of course, Kashimo's cursed energy has made him resistant to electricity. Kashimo then questions Sukuna. Did you become the strongest, or were you born as the strongest? And of course, this is a very important question to ask. I'll go into it after the review if the chapter doesn't go into it. Well, the thing, spoilers, whatever, but it's important. Sukuna answers Kashimo, saying that he doesn't know because he was an unwanted child. Kashimo asks, how did Sukuna interact with others without knowing weakness? Or how did he show affection or mercy? Because Kashimo says he wasn't able to do so. He saw all other humans as pieces of dirt. Kashimo then asks Sukuna to teach him if strength is to be alone and find a place to properly show your powers. Is strength the punishment of the strong? Now, something I want to just point out here is that this arc does seem to be a battle of the strongest arc kind of thing. I've said this in the last chapter. Obviously, Kashimo isn't as strong as Gojo and Sukuna, but it seems as if he does have the same punishment that those two have for being the strongest and the representative of the Edo era. So I do think that we are going to continue exploring themes of strength and what it means to be the strongest through Kashimo here. And call me insane, but I do think that Kashimo's going to do something that's very worthwhile, possibly even win. Know a lot of people wouldn't like that, but if the battle of the strongest ends with all of the strongest killing each other, I would really like that conclusion, because it would kind of show that having such a title doesn't mean anything in the end. But let's focus on the chapter. Sukuna calls Kashimo extravagant and says that even Gojo was the same. Sukuna taps his head with the weapon and calls upon Kashimo to begin their battle. I also wonder if Kashimo and Gojo have had a conversation about this topic here. It'd be pretty interesting to find out. Maybe we'll see if Kashimo's about to die. But I'd love to see Kashimo and Gojo's conversation about being the strongest and how they would interact with each other through this, feeling. And there also has to be a reason why Kashimo held off on fighting Sukuna until Gojo lost. I do believe that it's because, of course, he wasn't sure if Gojo or Sukuna were stronger, so he wanted to wait, see who would come out on top, and then fight whoever deemed to be the strongest. Kashimo moves back and activates his curse technique, the Genju Kohasaku. It translates to something like Phantom Beast Amber. And in this page, we don't really see anything change, but obviously it's just because he just activated it. After Kashimo lands a punch on Sukuna's face, he loads a breath type attack and blasts it at Sukuna. The narrator then explains that Kashimo's curse technique remakes his body to be able to blast any kind of attack, which Kashimo can create from his curse energy. And funnily enough, is actually very similar to Ryu's Granite Blast. And that's cool because it does represent the Edo period, and maybe the Edo period sorcerers fought based off of their versatility in battle. Coming back into the chapter, Kashimo manages to land another punch. His curse technique enhances his agility, and the waves he blasts evaporates anything when they get touched. But Kashimo surpasses the human body to make these happen, and thus, once his curse technique ends, his body will break. So like most have theorized, you guys are correct. Kashimo's curse technique is a one-time transformation or an enhancement of his techniques. I see it more as like a Kaioken sort of thing. I wouldn't really call it a transformation. As this battle goes on, the narrator then begins to explain that Sukuna had a method of reviving his original body only once without using reverse curse technique, but Sukuna had intentionally halted it. And as we see, the transformation of the reincarnation has been restarted. The King of Curses and his full glory has finally returned. The four-armed Sukuna enters the battle. So since we have some time, I wanted to get into why I believe that the strongest talk and what Kashimo's asking Sukuna is very important, because we get into Sukuna's past a little bit, but not only that, we also get some more philosophy on what it means to be the strongest. Although Sukuna has not answered this yet, I guarantee you that he eventually will, and we will come to understand how Sukuna gained as much power as he did. Did he grow up with this power? Did it come to him through relentless training? Or did he put himself through like endless battle and risking his life in order to reach near death and Zenkai boost on that, basically, is what I'm getting at. But understanding this and understanding these things in Jujutsu Kaisen, these little small details matter so much, and they also give away a lot about other characters that we really may not be aware of at the moment. I also want to see Yuji. I'm surprised we didn't get anything about Yuji, and that's probably for good reason, but I know GEGE likes to save characters for this. We're focusing on 4 characters right now. Let me save Yuji for when they get stale. That's kind of how he writes. I like it that way. But I do wish we saw how Yuji could like his sensei just died. When you realize it, Sukuna has played a huge role in Yuji losing almost all of his friends. So I think Gojo dying would likely be the last straw. And I even predicted that Yuji was just gonna bum rush Sukuna after he saw Gojo lose. I'm surprised he didn't. I'm surprised Yuji's still sitting. You would think Yuji would be seeing red right now. But I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna let you guys go. Of course, if you appreciate me staying up, covering these spoilers, feel free to like, subscribe, whatever. Leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. And of course, have an amazing day, guys. Peace.